Speed it up too.
Once upon a time, there's a country somewhere on the wings of flame. But there is a land not far away. We have Hungary here today. It's a country with meadows reaching over the horizon, with a sea of corn instead of oceans, with gently rolling slopes, with smiling little mountains which do not scrape the clouds but carry on their backs grapevines, giving the noblest wine of the world. Natural beauties go hand in hand with man-made beauty, and in the heart of the country, Budapest, the city embracing the Danube with its graceful bridges, Buda looking down from its hills and castle walls, and Pest, dressed up in its boulevards and elegant palaces. The beauty of Hungary, however, lies not only in its rivers, lakes, mountains, valleys, and not solely in its cities. Hungary is a country of taste, and Hungarian cuisine is esteemed as one of the finest. After all, is there anyone who has not heard of the famous goulash or paprika, or the Hungarian wine, the drink of kings, Tokaj? And the worthy companion of the precious juice of grapes is palinka, a real Hungarian produce. Join me for a brief walk in the world of Hungarian cuisine. Let our journey begin in a cool wine cellar. Sample the fresh white wines, the lovely full-bodied reds, and the liquid treasure, eternal Tokaj. Drinking wine creates intimate and emotional moments. For you must choose the right companion to drink with.
I agree. I agree.
Here's to your good health. Has it ever occurred to you that there is hardly any fruit in this land which could not be made into palinka, apart from the tempting apricot, the perennial plum, and the elegant pear distillates? It is now possible to capture the flavour of wild raspberries, elderberries, or even white mulberries in a bottle of palinka. Anyone longing for a real delicacy should take a sip of the hot pepper palinka, offering a combination of the flavours of Hungarian foods and drinks. Call me a stick in the mud, but I'm an advocate of traditional plum palinka. And you know why this is called whistling brandy? If you have ever drunk palinka fruit brandy, then you will realise that it is always accompanied by a small bite to eat. Now, let's have a look at this table laden with a wealth of delicacies and
Hi, Kathy, how are you? What are you watching? You're watching Hungarian cuisine, and we're going to get our apple strudel soon.
Oh, right, well, so fine.
You are well advised to take care, because in times past, when sturdy men were shepherding their animals, they didn't really restrict themselves to just a pinch of hot paprika. The paprika pepper can easily bring tears to your eyes. As you may have realised, Hungarian people generally favour consuming meat, but this table has plenty of desserts to offer too. But look at that. Here's an empty plate because one particular food is missing from our menu, namely, the real leading character of my story. Please, come with me and let's find out what it is. Although Hungary does not have an azure sea, the country is flooded with a sea every summer. A sea of golden wheat, where the rattling wheat ears tell their stories as the wind gently fondles them. It's no wonder that many Hungarian artists drew inspiration from it, as wheat is life itself. Above all, for those who work with wheat, whose workmanship turns wheat into flour, and flour into food laid on our table. If you thoroughly examine the foods on the table, and if you really like to indulge yourself, you will easily have seen that strudels were left out. This is the same strudel which has been traditionally made and consumed for hundreds of years in our country. and whose indispensable ingredient is the excellent Hungarian wheat with high gluten content. Established in the late 1800s, the Miller's Journal devoted long pages to describe the world-renowned quality and high gluten content of our wheat, which allows the strudel pastry to be rolled almost infinitely. Hungarian cuisine consists of numerous historical foods, among which strudel rose to prominence. Strudel was first mentioned in the 1500s, and it played an important role in writer Miklos Székely's diet. Served on holidays, on the occasion of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, carnival and wedding celebrations in the past, this pastry has lost its festive nature by now, but the moment of eating strudels has remained a time for celebration to this very day. But what is a strudel? The Hungarian name Répes originates from the way it is made. Thin layers of pastry. Everybody loves it, and I am no exception. Yet we're afraid of trying to make it, as we believe that only the privileged are capable of baking perfect strudels. Well, this is not exactly the way it is, but this is probably the most plausible excuse. The origins of strudel are of hardly any interest today. It's not the starting point that matters, but the end point. There isn't any other country where such a strudel is baked in this way, even though it became established in Hungary as somewhat of a forced import during the time of the Turkish occupation. Unlike strudels, the Turks have long gone now. But this relative of the baklava-type pastries has become the cornerstone of the Hungarian gastronomy. The making of strudel pastry has been passed from generation to generation, just like secret family legends. The ceremony of rolling out the dough can even be seen as a social rendezvous. There is the common secret hidden in the pastry by its makers. Although the secret will leave your stomach rumbling, just as it was in the case of palinka, the strudel is filled with different fruits, vegetables, or even meat to make the secret delicious. Like every famous dish, strudel has a little secret, which in this case begins and ends with the dough. The festive pastry of the old country cuisines is made from dough consisting of a gentle mixture of premium quality wheatmeal, fat, egg, salt and water, which is hand-rolled on a table to such thinness that allows you to read through it the faint wisdom embroidered on the tablecloth. Rolling out strudel dough may be a daunting task to housewives or the beginner, or even at an advanced level. It takes plenty of practice, which obviously will result in a vast amount of punctured strudel sheets. While mixing the dough, the housewives need a little ray of sunshine and a morsel of their own life into it to give the dough a soul. For what else can hold a wafer-thin sheet of dough which defies the laws of physics together, while we almost wait for a stronger puff of air to grab it and blow it in the wind. These are modern times, with new equipment and new people, but the basics of preparing the perfect strudel have not changed. Believe me, the method of filling, greasing, then spinning and rolling and cutting off the edges of the dough and the flavours have remained the same. But then again, as you can see,
Dan, the man.
It was not long before that strudels left the country cuisine and found their way to the tables of civil and aristocratic families. By then they had filled strudel with not only cottage cheese, cabbage or poppy seeds, and they had completely done away with the crummy porridge as